with you. May I please invite the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission to address you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. Fellow South Africans, good evening. When we spoke earlier this afternoon, we promised to keep you updated on every step of the results processing period that we are going through. We are here to fulfill our undertaking to you. As you are well aware, South Africans are anxious that we complete this work and set them free to know the final outcomes of the elections. However, the completion of the capturing of the results does not mean that once we are done, the results are final. We are currently sitting at 100% of the results captured and issued to yourself. You will see that board sometimes go forward and a little bit coming back. I will explain why that is so at times. As we consider objections before us, there will be those that will require or will implicate the reopening of edit windows for results to be corrected. An edit window is simply a facility that allows the Commission to effect corrections in instances where recorded results and result slips may have discrepancies. We also promised to keep you updated on the process of finalizing these objections. Transparency being such a founding value in our elections, we want to explain the objections process so that the public is aware of the quality assurance procedures that are used to ensure that our elections are credible, free, and fair. This process involves, one, a process where any interested party, any member of the public, any independent candidate, and any political party may lodge an objection with the Commission. Two, any voter or party or independent candidate's agent can object if, one, a voter is given an incorrect number of ballots. Two, a voter is refused a ballot paper. Or three, the conduct of a voting officer, party agent, or any other person brings or causes that person to be denied the right to vote. Party agents and candidates can also object to any irregularity or inaccuracies in the verification procedure, or the sorting of ballot papers, or the counting of those votes, or the determination of the results. Since our last briefing earlier this afternoon, the Commission wishes to bring to your attention that it has received 579 objections. And I say objections in quotes because I will share with you the general themes of the things that are included in the tally, the 579 tally. This number, the 579, may increase a little because there may be others that we may have to work on. As a matter of fact, at the time that we were preparing to come here, all of those submissions that were given until 6 were still going to be compiled, and we will update you on them. But you will ask, what are the general themes encapsulated in those that we have considered this far? There are generally 6 themes we have noticed from the ones that we have. The first include instances where results processes were still not completed when the objections were filed with us. In other words, someone filed an objection, but they have not had the opportunity to deal with the results that was concluded. The second are allegations by a third party that says a specific person told me that they voted for me or for my party, but in that voting station, we can't see my result. Thirdly, there are allegations under oath by a voter that his or her vote or votes did not reflect in a particular station, and where such a voter has in fact provided a basis for the commission to assess his or her claim. Fourth, there are people asking about seat allocation and saying, what are the kind of things you're going to consider when you do seat allocations? Fifth, there are people raising matters connected to the conduct of these elections. In other words, they are raising issues of conduct of a party or party agents or supporters of a party or independent candidate during the special voting period or election day itself. And the last theme is those persons raising what they consider to be issues impacting on either the conduct or training of electoral officials. What is the progress that has been made this far? There are 10 window edits that we have authorized just up to now. I did indicate to you that edit windows are those opportunities where we want to align a result slip with the captured results. These instances have in fact been dealt with. In other words, the commission has looked at that. We are satisfied that that process must be undertaken. The effect of opening edit windows is that you will see the results on the leaderboard reversing and going forward. In other words, when we are at 100% and one edit window is opened, it will then have the effect of reversing the effect of that result having been completed or finalized. The second is that there are 24 instances where the commission has ordered recounts. That has happened. In all of those instances, we are communicating with the Chief Electoral Officer and his staff, and equally with political parties implicated in those recounts. The commission reassures you that in undertaking this process, it will act without fear, without favor, without prejudice. In closing, please permit me to say that We have a long night ahead of us as we seek to bring finality to these matters, to remove any doubts that these matters may in fact raise, and to put you at ease that this is not work we take lightly. I want to conclude and say the Commission will be ready to announce the results of these elections tomorrow. I thank you very much indeed, and we will take this matter forward.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The people with the microphones, please. May I ask that you stand up and introduce yourself and pose your question and try and make it succinct, please. Colleagues, I see the hands are many. I might be sitting in the unfavorable position of having to stop the conversation when you still want to continue. We have to reconvene in the boardroom to consider objections. So we unfortunately can't spend as much time in this place as we would ordinarily want to. So please accept our apologies for that. We absolutely have to finish those objections. This is a train that just keeps moving. It always does. Thank you very much. So I'm going to start on my left-hand side. I'm going to start with you, Natasha.
Thanks, Dr. Masuku. It's Natasha Perry here from SABC News. Mr. Miyapa, you just announced that the Commission is ready to announce the results tomorrow, and you've heard those 26 political parties asking that the announcement of the results be deferred to another date until you actually deal with the objections. And in terms of the objections, is this the highest number of objections that the IEC has received? I know in 2019 you received about 56. Yeah, so can you just please confirm that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My colleagues, please note the questions. This microphone doesn't allow me to write. That's my excuse. I'm going to move this side. Sorry, say. Don't do a Kate on me.
I have a mic.
So you've got a mic. Thank you very much.
I have a mic.
Good evening, Paul De
He has a mic too. Thank you.
Sorry, good evening, Paul De Chiota from Business Day.
Yes.
Do you feel under siege at the moment with the claims by political parties? And do you take any of these statements as threats? And if you do, what kind of action are you considering about that? Or will you wait for the results to be finalized first? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over there, sir, you're right, over there.
Hello, my name is Nazir Nur Mohammed from NIS Media. I'm not sure if I heard that one of the complaints that we've heard is from the voting station itself. The capturing at your regional offices was not correct, according to the results at the voting station itself. You did not mention that, but I heard from a lot of people that was the problem. Were there any complaints about that, capturing? And if there were, doesn't that mean that there's a flaw in your system? Who checks the representatives from political organizations are there when you're counting at the voting station. But when it's captured at your offices, who's checking there that it's captured correctly? That was one of the biggest problems.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to come this side and sweep one more time. Sir?
Good evening, Kosnatsi Shazi from Power FM News. With the IEC confident of declaring the results tomorrow and with the information we have, over 500 disputes, some of the challenges we faced during voting day, voting stations opening late, problems with the electronic machines, long queues, recounting of votes. I just wanted to find out how would the IEC rate itself out of 10 in the administering of the 2024 general elections? Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. The student rating themselves. Right. There we go.
I
Sir,
have a mic.
please.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Thabo Sholamashao from 702. Two quick questions. It has been said that 2 individuals were apprehended by the police yesterday, and I could be wrong about the time, from this entity where we are. Can you confirm whether that is true or not? Because it is said that it is directly connected to the glitches of the system and the screens, and they were picked up, and they are employees of the IT company one of the IT companies which you are working with. This comes from the press conference that we've just attended by the MK. Second, it has been said they are saying also that they submitted to you evidence of high quality substance that proves that there were serious irregularities as elsewhere. And I would like to find out if you did receive any compelling evidence to that effect, particularly from MK, that suggests that there were direct irregularities which may warrant to stop the declaration tomorrow. And what do you make, lastly, what do you make of the
That's the
president?
third question,
Okay,
sir.
I'll sit down.
Who's they? You said they, so that we answer you
I
comprehensively.
was going to complete that, ma'am. As I had said, it was the MK party at the press conference, which was convened a few minutes ago in this arena.
Excellent, thank you. And I'm going to move that side.
Thank you.
Please stand up, say, and introduce yourself.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Puti Musumani from Inside Politics. 2 questions. The first one is the chairperson mentioned the general themes, the 6 themes. My question is, they look too general. Is the chairperson not underplaying the significance of the objections? The last one, you just said, chairperson, that when you're preparing for the press conference, some objections were coming in. And yet you are saying by tomorrow, sure, you are ready to announce the results.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask the chairperson. I'm going to start with you, Chair. If you can come through here, thank you.
Let me start with the question relating to what Natasha was raising in relation to our indication that, as we had planned to declare tomorrow, that plan we are working on. I'm sure all of you will be familiar with the provisions of Section 190, 1C, I think it is, of the Constitution. That provision requires, or in fact, provides that we must declare the outcome of an election as soon as possible after elections. And we have to abide by that provision, amongst others. That's why it was important that we make it plain in advance that this would be the plan, and that we would commit all of our energies, all of our resources to ensure we abide with that constitutional provision. I think this really also deals with a question that was asked, that are we not underplaying this? No, we are not. We have indicated earlier that we were going to look at everything that is before us without putting form over substance. All we were trying to do was to give you a little more insight. We could have said it's 579, but we thought it would be important for you to know what are the kind of things that we have seen. Are this the highest number of objections? I don't know. I think so, but I don't know for sure. My colleagues, was it 50 something in the past? I can't remember. Pure objections. Yeah, we will make that comparison later. For now, we are dealing with things that concern you as South Africans, voters, and everyone that has really taken the pain, the time to share those things with us and bring them to our attention and say, what would you be doing with this thing that makes me aggrieved? Someone said, are we worried about announcements and threats? I hope I captured that question right. Oh, do we feel under siege? We did say the other day, and let me remind you, that some of these things you've got to accept come with the territory. The Constitution requires of us that to be a member of this commission, you must act without fear, without favor, and without prejudice. We are determined to discharge our obligation as required by the Constitution. Who is checking the capture? Who is checking that captured results are correct? In case you are not clear, let me make it clear. We do have auditors. We did indicate that we have Grant Thornton doing this. But we said as well that the reason why we open the system, and not just limited to Grant Thornton, is that every one of us, 62 million South Africans that are interested in an election that would be free and fair, and democracy in our nation is free to find fault, and when they do, to bring it to our attention so that we fix where things escape anybody. But Grant Thornton, we indicated, are contracted by us for that purpose. I take it that that deals with that. How is the IEC rating itself? We do not want to prejudge anything. We are going to conclude this election, and it'll be clear for all to see the work that we have done and what it has entailed. We really sometimes consider ourselves as persons who live in a glass house. There is nothing to hide. Have we received submissions from the MK party as part of the objections? We are working through piles, and we expect that anyone that is aggrieved would have. I do think that it is important to be open and to consider everything that is before us. And so, as I assured you, we are going to work through everything that has been submitted and deal with it, carefully, thoroughly, giving it our best attention. I think this deal with the questions you had, Dr. Masuku. Thank you very much.
Okay. CEO, I don't know if you want to take the question on the two people who were apprehended, or do you want to do it? CEO does it.
Will you deal with the rest of the two people? Sorry. The rest of the two people? Yeah.
Good evening. We are not aware of the arrest of any two persons, either who are staff members or who are contracted to the commission. We've taken care to check with net joints if perhaps on their end they could be aware of such arrests. Even on that front, no knowledge has come to the fore about persons arrested.
Chair, I thought I might just clarify something arising from Natasha's question. that the number that we're reporting, the 500 and something, it includes the things that we call, that are just complaints, not necessarily Section 55 objections. So that's very, very important to understand. So that number that you're reporting, that is 56, those would have been compliant Section 55 objections. Do you think you get that? Thank you. Another round. Okay. Now, the middle portion has got a lot of questions. I'm going to work from the front to the back. Sir? If you can just get a mic, sir, and stand up, introduce yourself, that would be lovely.
Hi, my name is Carlos from the Portuguese News Agency. You mentioned 579 objections. How many parties in total? I didn't get that. Do you mind?
How many parties?
Yes, how many political parties in total have submitted 579 objections?
Okay.
Secondly, I would like to know, how do you audit your votes? Is one by one or as a sample of votes? And most importantly, former President Zuma has just called for a commission of inquiry into the allegations of the results. What is your comment? How are you going to announce the results tomorrow without investigating the allegations? Are you going to do a commission of inquiry into the results?
Thank you very much. Yes, sir?
Sifiso Bahlango, Independent Media, you say you are going to announce the results tomorrow because you are called upon to do so as soon as possible. But the law provides you with 7 days to announce the results. So 26 political parties have complained, they've raised objections. Now, I don't understand what the rush is about because you've still got until next week, Wednesday, to declare the results. Are you going to shut down the 26 political parties and the various complaints to declare the results tomorrow?
Thank you very much, sir. Is there someone behind you? Yes, please, ma'am.
Good evening, Slindala Masingana from ENCA. Of the 24, 26 recounts, where are they? Can we just get more details around where these recounts are happening and just how long you expect that particular process to take? And in terms of these objections that have been raised, are they significant enough to actually have a material impact on the results? And then lastly, in this late briefing by the MK party, the former president said that if you did announce the result tomorrow, you would be provoking them. Do you believe this is a threat? Is this a, does it go against the Electoral Act, in terms of such statements? And will you be taking any kind of action if you actually did listen to the briefing? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take the last question right at the back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Yanda Ngobo from Newsroom Africa. Linked to my colleague's question, has it ever happened before that you have evidence before you in a complaint or objection that compels you not to announce the results? And as Slindelo was asking, is there any kind of recourse, perhaps an engagement with the MK party about their statements that you'd be provoking people if you continue with declaring the results? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to invite the chair first to come and answer, and then I'm going to invite anyone who might want to add. Thank you.
I'm going to start with the last question because I was writing it. I had not finished so that I don't forget. The question about, have you had evidence compelling you not to declare results of an election? No, not that I can remember. I may be wrong, but I've seen quite a number of elections in our country for quite a while. No, we haven't. We have been at a point where a specific voting district perhaps, something happened there. And you will recall, I think in 2019 or 2021, there was a station where our staff members were attacked. And people vandalized ballot boxes as people were shooting. And we could not, in good conscience, say, after they were gone and that mess was there when we cleaned up, we could not say that everything was what it would have been. And so in that, that voting stage, that has happened. But we've not had, to my recollection, any instance of, or any evidence compelling us not to declare the outcome of a result. 579 objections. How many political parties? Carlos, we didn't look at that. We are not at that point. We're simply working through a pile. And I must be honest with you. We're not doing it because we are working on these things and causing them to go as soon as. But that information will be available surely. Now that you indicate that it is of interest. How do you audit your votes? You must have missed our complete explanation, but for your benefit and many others that have missed it, we do not audit a sample. We audit everything. The results will be audited, each one of them. There are 23,292 voting stations. There are 19 elections that are taking place. Each one of those will be audited. Sfiso asked the question, we have 7 days. What is the rush about this? There are many important considerations. I indicated to you, and I continue to hear these voices, even in this hall, on the extreme rows, many people that are invested in this work who want to really have this work brought to finality. They're invested in it. They're not bystanders. They're not, there are many voters. South Africa is almost, waiting for us. The markets, it's everything, that we also need to take into account. And so the Constitution, yes, provides that we should not do it in more than 7 days. But already, we are used to this happening within 3 days. Why is that a big issue? When we say we will look at everything that is before us, we're not going to exclude anything. We will look at the things that are before us. There was a question, I think it's Lindelo, where are these recounts happening? And that information, Lindelo, I do have. There are 20 in Gauteng, 3 in the Northwest, and 1 in Limpopo. That is the information that you were looking for. Are they material enough to have an impact on the outcome of an election? No, we are not at that point yet. When everything is now looked at, we will be able to say, once we conclude them, we'll be able to say, is there anything that will be material to the outcome of these elections, and we will deal with it. I think that covers it. Oh, there was a question, and I don't really want to raise, to avoid it. The commission was clear. There are many voices we hear. We really choose to focus on what we do. And we are not going to be sidetracked and be reticent about people we serve or stakeholders. No, we are going to respect them, but we are going to do the work we're meant to do. Thank you very much indeed.
Chair, thank you very much. I think we are going to pause over here And if I may, on behalf of the commission, say to you, this happens every single election. The commission sits behind closed doors and considers objections. It is not something that you see, but it is something that we do all the time. Sometimes it's 2-3 days of no sleep, and you consider each file as it comes. That's exactly what we're going to do. So on that note, as you depart, whether you're going to stay in this results center, or you're going to go home to take a little break, or you will pray for us who sit in that boardroom considering objections, whatever that is, may you do so with grace and have a good evening.